Okay, now we will discuss some important concepts that come under the chapter functions. Very fast I'll go. What is a function? Function means it is a named unit of a program which performs a particular task. A function will be having one or more statements in a block, and that block performs a particular task, and that block will be given a name, and that is known as function. Now what are the advantages of function? And you need to remember only any two advantages. The best example is it reduces complexity, and the same function can be used again and again. So these are the two advantages of function. Function can be used again and again, and it reduces complexity, and it is a named unit of a program which performs a particular task. Now the another important question is function prototype and function signature. What is a function prototype and what is a function signature? This question can come. See, now here I have written one example for a function. This is a function definition. This is a function definition. Here you can see this is a function name. Two parameters or two arguments are there. First one is x and the second one is y. Both are belonging to integer data type, and this function returns an integer value. And this function, these two statements belongs to the body of this function, and so this part is called as function definition. Function definition contains the function header and the statements inside the body of the function. So this is function definition. In function definition, keep in mind in the argument list you have to write data type space variable name, comma, data type space variable name. Again, if variables are there or parameters are there, you can write comma data type space variable name. And the return type, if it is returning a value, that data type should be mentioned. Otherwise, if nothing is returned, you can simply write void, but return type is compulsory. So this forms the body of the loop. This is function definition. Now look at this part. This is called as function call. Function call, you need to look upon this part. When you call a function, the syntax is function name, and in bracket you will write only the value of the parameters. Directly you can pass the values, or you can store these values in variables and you can write the variable. For example, int a equal to 10 comma b equal to 5. If you are writing like that, here you can write a comma b. That is also possible, or directly you can write the values. But in function call, no need of writing the data types here. See, instead of 10 comma 5, you can write int a equal to 10 comma b equal to 5. If you are writing like that, instead of 10 comma 5, here you can write a comma b. Okay, like this also you can write. But you have to remember, when you call a function, in function call, along with the function name, only the parameter names will be written. No data types are needed with these parameters in function call. Is it okay? So this is function call. So here one variable is declared, function name, values are passed, and it is assigned to a variable. Why this is assigned to a particular variable? Why? Because look at the function definition. In this function, this is a function to find the sum of two numbers. These two numbers will be added, and the answer is stored inside an integer variable, and this answer is returned back, return r, the value of r, the calculated value will be returned back, and that is why int is written on the left side. And when you call a function, suppose you are calling sum of 10 comma 5. What happens is 10 comma 5 will come here. What is 10 plus 5? 15. 15 will be stored inside R, and this 15 will be coming back to this function. So this side, right side, gives you 15 as the answer. So the coming answer should be stored inside another integer variable. Why we are storing it an integer variable? Because here the returning value R is an integer. So the coming answer also should be stored inside an integer variable. That is why here one assignment statement is given. So this is function call. Clear? Function definition, function call. Now we'll come to the term. What do you mean by function prototype? Function prototype is the first line that you write in the function definition. This is called as the function header. Okay, the first line that we write in the function definition is called function prototype, and this function prototype contains the name of the function, then number of parameters, type of parameters, as well as the return type of the function. These all includes a prototype. Prototype contains the name of the function with the number and type of parameters and the returning type of the function. So this much includes function prototype. Now what do you mean by function signature? Only this part. the number and type of parameters written inside a function name or in the parenthesis. That is called as function signatures. Only this part belongs to the function signature. Function signature, that means the name of the function with this parameters. Function signature along with the return type belongs to function prototype. Okay, so two questions. Now another important thing is you will be given a question like this. Write a function prototype for a function test. What is the name of the function given here? Test. This function accepts an integer and a character argument and returns true or false value. So this is important. This type of question will come for the exam and the weightage will be 2 marks. Okay. So what is asked here? You have to write a function prototype for a function test. So you will write here test, T-E-S-T, test. Now, what is the peculiarity of this function? This accepts an integer and a character argument. So this accepts integer argument, comma, character argument. See, int n is not compulsory. If here in the question, if they are giving us it accepts an integer, then in bracket, if they are writing n, means here you have to write in space n. If this n is not given, only integer is given, means simply you can write int, comma, char, or you can include any variable names, no problem. Okay, but if variable names are given here, definitely you have to write variable here. So the name of the function is test. Then it accepts an integer and a character argument. So in parenthesis, what you have to write? Integer argument, comma, character argument. Don't write character. The data type to represent character is char. Char space this variable name. See, I told you these variable names are not compulsory, but if they are given in the question like this here, if character ch is given, means definitely you have to write like this. Then what is the remaining question? Accepts these arguments and it returns true or false values. Always the return type should be written on the left side of this function. So what is the returning value? They are asking to write to return either true or false. You know, true or false are the constants or the values that are stored in which data type? Boolean data type. So on the left side, what you have to write? Boolean. So this is a function prototype. You can put a semicolon. This is not compulsory. Either you can put semicolon or not needed. Okay. So function prototype will be asked for the exam. Function name. First write the function name. Then in bracket write the parameters. Don't change the order. Here it accepts an integer and a character. So first int, then char. Put a comma in between. If variables are given, add the variables. Then on the left side, the returning type of the value. What is the value given here? True or false. What is the data type to represent true or false? Boolean. So returning type should be written on the left side. Space is here. So this is the answer. Only this much you have to write for function prototype. Only this much. Now next important thing is actual and formal parameters. What are the differences between actual and formal parameters? Actual parameters are the parameters which are written in the function call statement. In function call statement, whatever parameters you write here, they are called as actual parameters, and the parameters used in the function definition statement are known as formal parameters. Parameters or arguments written in the function definition statement are called as formal parameters, and the parameters used in the function call statement are called as actual parameters. In this example, A and B are actual parameters because they are used with function call statement, and X and Y are formal parameters. Why? Because they are used with function definition statement. Next question that you can expect is differentiate between call by value and call by reference. In call by value means always what? Copies of parameters will be created, and here no copies are created. This is the main thing. Call by value, call by reference. Reference means they act upon the original values. No copies are created. But in call by value, copies of arguments are created. I'll just I'll just give the definition. In call by value, this is function call, this is function definition. This is actual parameter. These are actual parameters. These are formal parameters. Look here. In call by value, when the actual parameters are passed from the function call to the function definition. In call by value, copies of these parameters are created. So when it goes back to the function definition and when it performs an action or operation, changes happens only to the copy and the original values will not be affected. In call by value, copies of parameters are created, and when they are called, what happens is the changes happens only in the copy of the parameter and the original value will not be changed or will be unaffected. Okay. Now what about call by reference? In call by reference, when the parameters are passed from function call to definition, no copies of parameters are created, and so all the changes takes place in the original copies. Okay. So the original copies will be affected. Very simple. In call by value, copies of parameters are created. In call by reference, no copies of parameters are created. In call by value, changes happens to the copies only and the original parameters will be unaffected. But in call by reference, original values are used for operation. Since no copies are created for the parameters, the original values will be changed. Okay. So this is call by value and call by reference. Then the next important thing or the another questions are pure and impure functions. This question is rarely asked. It's not so important, but 1 or 2 times it is asked. Okay. Pure impure function. Pure functions are the functions that does not change the state of an object. Okay, functions which takes the object values, but if the values are not changed after the operation, then you can say that they are pure functions. Okay, then they are called as pure functions. And what about impure function? Impure function means that functions takes objects, and if the state of the objects are changed, then you can say that impure function. Impure function and pure function both uses objects for operation, but if the state of the objects are changed means then that is impure. If the state of the objects are not changed means they are pure function. Then different types of functions are computational, manipulative and procedural function. Computational functions are the functions which perform calculations. For example, math.sqrt, math.pow, etc. which performs calculations and returns the calculated value. Such functions are called as computational function. Manipulative functions means these functions will just do something and it will return only success or failure code. For example, if 0 is returned means it is a success, any other number means it returns a failure. Then procedural function. Procedural function means it just prints something and it returns no values. They are called as procedural function. This is also not so important, but sometimes you'll be asked to identify the function. Now this is important. Okay, you will be asked to when a class will be given, a program will be given, and you will be asked to identify these terms. Looking at the program, you have to identify what is a class variable, what is an instance variable, then what are method arguments. Method is also called as function. What are local variables, then name the object, etc. You will be asked to identify each. And the tip for this is that if a variable is written along with the word static, if a variable or a function is preceded by the keyword static, then you can say that that is a class variable or a class function. Class variable or class functions will be preceded. Preceded means that will be written with the keyword static. Static will be written on the left side of the variable name or the function name. Then that is called as class. Then instance variables means these are the variables which will not be written with the keyword static, and these variables will be declared inside the class. Okay. Then method arguments means the parameters which are written along with the function definition. They are called as method arguments or function arguments. Then local variables means the variables which are written only inside or which are used only inside a loop or a block. The variables which are declared only inside a block, that is called as local variable. Then object name, class name space object name equal to new class name. You can identify the object name also. I'll just show an example here for your reference. Just look at this example. Look at the program here. You can see I'm just showing one example. Just look here. Class name is my class. static int x is equal to 7. Here you can see the variable name is x. Inside the class variable name is x. It is written with the keyword static. Okay. Now int y is equal to 2. Here y is a member. It is written inside the class. So looking at this, you can see that this class contains two data members. One is x and the other one is y. What about x? X is static and y is non-static. Okay. Now this is a main function. Inside the main function, class name space object name equal to new class name. Class name is this one, object name is this one, new class name. Now we are just printing the values. Okay. Now coming to another function. Other than main, one more function is there, method. This function is having one parameter. This function is having a parameter here, n. N is a method argument parameter, and this function prints something. And what is the return type of the function? Void. This function does not return any values. Now the question is identify these all things. Okay, you have to identify these all things. Just identify. Looking at this example, you just tell what are the class variables. Just tell what are the class variables. Looking at this, name the class variables used in this program. Class variable means the variable which is written with the keyword static. Okay, the variable which is written with the keyword static is called class variable. So you can say that x is a class variable. Then what is the instance variable? Y is the instance variable because this int y is written inside the class. This is instance variable. Okay, instance variable. Clear? Then name the object used in this class. What is the name of the object? Look at the main function. Inside the main function, class name space object name equal to new class name. What is the object name? Obj is the object name. Okay, so obj is the object name. Now name the method argument. Which is a method argument? Main is a compulsory function. Other than that, which is a function used here? This is a function. So which is the argument used in this function? N. So n is the method argument. Is it okay? So class variable is x because it is having static keyword. Instance variable is y. Then method argument is n. Then the object name is obj, and name the type of function used here. This is a function. What is the type of function? This function is just printing something and it is not returning anything. It is not returning anything back. Void. Nothing is returned back. So this is an example for procedural function. Okay, this function belongs to procedural function. Is it okay? And the last topic that comes under this chapter is function overloading. Function overloading. What do you mean by function overloading? Writing so many function definitions with the same function name but with different number of parameters or type of parameters or both. Okay, writing so many function definitions with the same function name with a different number of parameters or type of parameters or both. See, area, three function name, same function name. But what about the number of parameters? Here 1, here 2, again here 1. This is 1, this is 1. But look at these two. This is float and this is integer. So either the type of parameters should be different or the number of parameters should be different or both can be different. Okay, but the name of the function should be same. So this is an example for function overload. Okay, all the best.